So when you see flour, you see sugar and yeast. What comes to your mind? Yes, you guessed right. Puff, puff. No, not bread. Puff, puff. So I woke up this morning craving puff, puff. Come on this journey with me. Let's make a quick Nigerian style puff, puff. So for me, puff, puff is one snack I would never, ever make wasting my time on measuring cups or scale. I have a recipe, so if you want a recipe for this pop-up style, just drop in the comment section, share your recipe. All right, so I just gauge the flour, and I had the quantity of sugar proportionate to the quantity of flour and how sweet I want the puff to be. I'm not so sweet tooth when it comes to puff. Maybe cake, yes. So the next thing, I want to add my yeast. There are different styles of adding your yeast. Some people want to proof the yeast with sugar first, but I just combine everything. That's what works for me. So it will be nice. You do whatever works for you. If you want to proof the yeast first in sugar before pouring in the flour, that's absolutely fine. But for me, I put everything together in a bowl, mix it, and then add the liquid. So talking about liquid, I like to have a bit of milk in my pop-up. So saying that, I like to add nutmeg. For me, I like the raw nutmeg, not the powdered one you buy off the shelf. So once all the dry ingredients is added, next we're gonna go for the wet ingredients, which basically is just the liquid. So liquid could be anything, could be yogurt for you, could be water for you, could be milk, but for me in this recipe is milk and water. So I'm using warm water, boiling water actually, but I'm going to cool that down with my milk. The milk is coming out of the fridge, half frozen actually. That's why I'm using the boiling water. I will check the temperature before putting it, because you don't want your liquid too hot and you don't want cold, because it's going to affect the yeast. It's not going to activate the yeast. You need a warm temperature to get the yeast activated. So to do that, I'll bring out my thermometer to check the temperature. I'm looking towards body temperature 30, 35, 32 most times I work with, but 35, 36 at the max. So I'm checking that with my thermometer to be sure it's not too cold and it's not too warm. Because if it's too cold, it's going to affect the yeast. Your puff dough will not rise, which is always the problem most people face. So it's a bit warm. I've added more water, and there I think I have the right temperature. Now I've got 32. That's fine. I was actually working towards 35, 36, but 32 is fine. So I'll be using this to mix my flour, and that's what the puff process is all about, puff dough. So then if I was on this video, I'll clearly use my hand, but let's just do it for content creation. So yeah, I'll use my spatula to mix it. And once everything is well combined together, like I said, I still use my eyes and my inner scale to gauge the consistency I'm looking for. So once I get that, and I think this is it, it's just perfect. Mix together, mix it very well, no lumps, and there we have our puff dough. So the next thing I want to do now, once it's well combined together, is set aside and wait for it to rise. So the next thing I want to do now is get the cling film and cover it, like I said. Wait for it to rise. Just checking that I have the right texture and it's well combined before putting it aside. So that is done now. Scrape down the sides. So we'll get the cling film. We want to cover it in an airtight container. I've considered the quantity of flour I use and the room that's required for the dough to rise. That's why I'm using this big bowl. So I'm going to cover that, make sure it's airtight, get some clean napkins over there and put it in a warm, dry place. I'll be putting it in the oven because the oven is quite dark and warm. So I put the napkin over that just to give it extra warmth. Yeah, that's it. And I'll set it aside. I'll set my timer for 45 minutes. Yeah, I'll set for 45 minutes, and then after 45 minutes we can start frying our dough. Okay, so 45 minutes gone by so quickly, and yes, it's risen almost double in size. Yeah, that's what it looks like. You want to take out all the hair in it. Let's start frying. Our puff puff is ready, looking yummy and sumptuous and puffy like it's called. Yeah, so we're having puff puff for breakfast. And so that's your Nigerian style puff puff. I served it with chili oil. There's this Chinese chili oil I buy from Tesco. It's really spicy and nice. I love it. Thank you.